Okay, so next bit, I will take the dividers, just hide everything else. I think they're all right, actually. I don't think I've got anything, although there are some few little edges in here for some reason. Some point, I think that's just the central edge to mirror it over. So you know what, I'm going to leave those in case I need to cut it in half. But generally, I feel like they're low enough, and the curvature on this. Hang on, let me just. Check. So you could probably get away with just duplicate, hit 3, and then select this one, and then do transparency. I'm going to come in here, hit F on the keyboard so I can frame in, come in. So what I may do is actually come in, try and get that a little closer. We're taking those edges and beveling. And again, you probably don't need to go into this much detail. But where are you? Bevel. Don't want to have any segments, that's for sure. So just going to do that, say there. And I think that will capture that reasonably well. So just kind of cutting across and doing that, and that'll be okay. So I want to capture that curvature. If it was more prominent, I'd have more vertices in here. But that is more than enough, considering it's such a small part. Or like it's not particularly noticeable. So I want to take those, and then I'm just going to delete that duplicated piece and bring everything back. So then this one is done, this one is done, and then yeah, so what I want to do is, I think I'm duplicating them, so I want to take that and then I'm going to drop that into my low poly. Hang on. Might just create a new one with those, so I can hide things as I go, so I know what I've done and what I haven't done. So with the sign, I'm just going to bake that in. So I'm not really going to low poly this, although what I can do, so I'm going to just duplicate this for the time being, and then select the logo there, and then just hide that for a moment. So I've got this one. I can, where are you? Come up here, and I can edit mesh. Is it? I don't often use this, but it's somewhere. Mesh tools. You can basically reduce the poly count somewhere. I think it may be retopologize remesh, that's over there, which we've already talked about. But I think if I angle, okay, no, not that. If I retopologize, maybe they've just altered the tool completely. That's what we did initially. Pardon me. But if I do it again, it's going to take a little while. There we go. And it's just reduced the polys quite a lot. To that. And I could come in here, retopologize, and I can just increase it a bit. So maybe my target count will be maybe 1500. Hit enter and it will rework it. It takes a while between each one, so don't want to go too far with this. Okay, so that's done. And that's like just over 6,000 tries. So that's quite a lot on that sign on its own. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to go any higher, and you know, if I'm going to use it as a low poly, I could strip out some more if I really wanted to, like, you know, out there, but I'm just going to leave it for now. So I'm just going to come in and just add that there and all that kind of done for now. And I think I'm just going to bake it in from the high poly, so I don't think I'm going to need to do that at all anyway. But we'll see how it goes. And then we come to this section here. Now I think I don't want to have the holes. They're going to bake in nicely for me. So in this instance, this is where it may be better for me to actually just take one face. I'm going to duplicate that face and then come in and get my vertices and just use this one face to essentially remodel over the top that covers all of this. And then just want to center pivot. And then that is my display and then plate. Drop that into my low poly and the layer 1, add select objects. And then that's still there, but I've done it. So then I need to do my dials. Now remember that this is in 3 mode that I should be kind of working from. But within this, you can see there's not enough information to get that kind of roundedness. So I do want to have more tries on this. So there's a way in which I can do this. Now I don't necessarily want to have this rim. So I am going to just make it easy for myself. Take that edge and then delete that bottom altogether. Take this and then just move that down so it snaps. Oops. There. So then that's flat because that will bake on without any issues. I'm going to keep the bevel as it is. That's fine. But then also I want to delete all these internal rings. Delete. And then that should just bring that up. Let's just double check. Yeah, and delete edge, and then that'll flatten that off, and then that will bake nicely. Now the issue still remains is that it doesn't have that roundedness. So what I will have to do is take these edges. So if I just select on and that one, control, right click and edge loop and to edge loop. So then I've created all of this. I'm going to go to connect. And then I'm going to add in maybe 7 segments. So it's quite high. More than I need, possibly. But we'll see. And then I'm going to go back to these edges and then select the whole edge loop. And then at the moment, see now this, because this is no longer a 4-sided shape, I'm going to take those first and then go to my edge loop. Sorry, no, to edges and to edge perimeter. Then shift and double click to get those and go to my edge loops. And then I'm going to come up to my circleize tool. And then that will give me a nice rounded thing, which was exactly where the initial one was. Now you can see I've got some hard edges there, and that'll be around on where that low poly was. So I just want to make sure I get all those edges. and just shift right click, soften edge and soften edge. So then it's like so. So then that's that dial done and ready. And then I will just take those and duplicate. Center my pivot, and then I'm just going to move it up to that central point and move this over. To the center point there as well. I don't think I've actually got the pivot perfectly in the center. There we go. And there we go. So now I've got that section, and I can just grab those faces and just delete those altogether because that's now in place. So I've got the base and I've got the dials, so I can just combine those together. And next I need the button, so I can actually delete, come into my side view, because I actually want to delete that base plate. Yeah, I think get rid of that altogether because we've created the other one over the top. And then I will just separate these items. So then I can take those and put them into this layer. So then we can see where we're going. And then I will start with here, come through, and then it's the same process basically. I want to delete the unnecessary edge. Oops. So I will just take those faces, control right click to edge perimeter, and then I will select my edges and double click that. And then I will do the connect again. Perhaps not 7, I don't think I need that. So, pardon me. It's because it's 4-sided shapes, so I am going to just star that off again. So I don't have that issue. There we go. Hit P. And then go through to perimeter, select that one, and then circularize. And then I will just add a slight bevel for a nicer shape. 0.1, 0.02, something like that. Control D. Center my pivot. Move that up. And bring it over. Just snap into place there. And then I can just delete that. So then this becomes the low poly. And then this, again, you got that sort of softened edge, but we can just come in, hit one on the keyboard, and take out the supporting edge loops. And gonna try and I'll just do a very, very slight bevel. 0.02. Too small. Was it 0.5? Okay. Yeah, it was. 0.2. 3. Just to give it that little extra. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it without the bevel. And then this one, we will need additional bits on this corner here. So with this one, I won't be able to do the circularize. So what I might do with this one is smooth it. Perhaps 2 to get that curve. Hit 1 on the keyboard and then strip it down. So because this one is a little bit more manageable, so I can take all those edges, but maybe not these for now. And delete. And then we've got that to there, and then all of those, and then delete. And then all of these can delete. So this one I have gone up to the high poly, but then stripped it down because I want to keep these. But what we can still do even there, even though we need all those points, I can then select all these verts. I'm holding down tab just to draw select. And then I'm going to merge to center. And then just pull that down so it's like a fan. So then it's reduced as much as I can, but whilst maintaining that curve. And then I will just center my pivot, move it to there, Control D, and then come in, -1 on the X. And then I'm just going to snap that in place and then delete that one. And then I need to remove the edges from here. As well. And delete. So then there are my buttons. So again, these just need those additional loops so that they kind of round off. And I just want to delete any of these unnecessary supporting edge loops. Right, you're working for me. Okay, I think I've extruded the edges or done something here. So let me just step back a few, make sure that I've got all those, and then I'm going to delete those edges. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, and then I will take those edges, do edge loops, and then connect. Not extrude, connect. Leave it at 5. So edge loops and circulate, and then that should be more than enough. Connect, Q, oops, no. First of all, I need to go around the whole lot. Add to edge loop, and then I want to connect, Q, get the edges, edge loop, no. Circularize, ooh. Then circularize. Edges. And then I'm just going to do a quick soften and harden edge. So then they can now go into that layer. And that's a spear because it's on hidden. And they've got the antenna and the strap. So let's have a look at the antenna next. Same process. We've got this section first, so let's just center the pivot. I'll just pull that down, see where we're at with it. So I can delete this run of faces, I don't need them. And then I want to come in 1, 2, 3, or this can go. And then select those edges, select the loop, connect. There we go, that'll do. And I could potentially get rid of that as well, but I'm going to leave it for now, I think. I'm not really too concerned. Maybe get rid of that completely. No, I won't, because I might need to you might be able to see it from certain angles. And I'm just going to put this back into place. And then work on this. Lift it up. And I'll delete that bottom one. Need it. That's barely doing anything, so we can get rid of that. And if I kind of go in, I might need to come inside or go to wireframe. Delete these edges. I think I need that one. I like it's structural. Only adding a little bit, but it's adding enough. That edge, you think. So that's fine. Go to that one though. So I might just come through and select all these first and then try and get the inside ones. That's where it changes. So delete those ones for now. And I can still reduce this even more. And you know what? I can actually reduce this quite massively, to be fair. So what I'm going to do is completely get rid of this. And this. And yeah. Because that will bake nicely. Get rid of all of that. And this. And bridge. And I think that'll be enough, actually. I think all that information will bake on that pretty nicely. And I will delete that as well. I think that's what I need. And then I need to bridge across there as well. And see where that line is twisted? It's gone the wrong way around, so I can need to straighten this using my, not the twist, yes, the twist. Okay, it's not, so I'll just come back in, and I want to just one and double click there, and then one and double click there, so I align the edges properly, and then bridge. It's not working, so normally we would edit this, but for whatever reason it's not liking it, so instead I'm just gonna have to manually do the bridge. And then just do, hope these three will work. There we go. Missed one. And I can actually delete that edge. And then I'm going to select all these edges, edge loop and edge loop and delete, because that will all bake. And delete that as well. And then I don't need any of this basically. Myself all lost in here. So F on the keyboard to frame. I want to get into that corner. I can't see anything, so I'm going to go to my camera settings and then just adjust this. I do 1, not 1, 0.01. There we go. You can see that a bit clearer now. So I want to just take that face and delete, and then I can just delete that one. And then I want to make sure that this edge aligns with there. One, double click, one, double click, bridge. That's worked that time. And then I can delete those edges. And to be fair, I think they will bake as well. So really I just want to go from there and delete all these edges. Make it a bit easier on myself. Not all the way to this one. That's it. That one there. Take all these out. So that one didn't work just because it needs to be triangulated off so those edges have got somewhere to go. That's been a bit funny for me. Now I can delete that. And if I really want, I can delete those as well, but it doesn't make a difference because it'll all get tried in the end anyway. So now we've got that, which is reduced, and I could probably get away with doing more, especially under here. But let's just take that whole ring and then connect, Q. Edge loop, edge loop. And then I need to do this one separately. Edge loop and perimeter, and then these ones. And then circulate. Ta-da! Now what you can do, like in this, like we'll never see underneath this. Okay, so what we can do to reduce this even more is just where's my axes coming in? So there. What we can do to kind of just limit this even more is grab these vertices underneath. And actually reduce some of these. So you can kind of pull those in like so. And maybe just do every other one. Using the target weld tool. And you'll see that it reduces by 2 tries each time. And you might think that this is, not really worth it. But it really is when every try matters. You want to make everyone count. So when if you're on a strict budget and you're trying to kind of capture something like this that's got a lot of curvature, then you want to be able to come in and optimize the mesh in the best way possible, like so, but you'll never see the silhouette there. So you want the information here and on the top so you can get all that detail, but then you can really strip it down, like when it comes to here, and you can do the same like through this section. to reduce that and optimize it to the point where the player will not notice the difference whatsoever, but it will massively reduce your try count. And then you can spend these tries somewhere else where we need it. So on the roundness of all these buttons are quite high, higher than what they potentially need. But if you go through and really optimize your mesh like this and pay this much attention to sort of each and every area, then that's going to have a huge impact. So what I might do is this central piece, do this all the way around. So I'm just holding shift to select multiple, all the way down to here. I know I didn't take the before and after, but we'll have a look. 520 or something when I was looked, and it was still after I'd done a few already. So the idea is we stay as close to the silhouette as we possibly can to maintain the illusion, but we cut down wherever we can to reduce that. So it's less draw when we take it into engine. So yeah, it can be time consuming, but it's worth it. You don't really want to display something and say it's low poly or game ready or anything like that, which has then got lots of unnecessary information. So optimizing and doing methods like this, techniques like this, will be kind of noted and show your awareness of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it's just showing essentially comprehension and smart workflow. I haven't really paid this much attention to every asset on this because this is just more of a demonstration than something that I would necessarily want to put in my portfolio. But you get the point. Oops. And there we go. So then I'd look at that, and when we come back, you'll see that it hasn't really made any difference to the silhouette when we go round. Let me just soften and harden edges on that. So you don't really notice that's got a little bit of faceting now. But then I reckon I can take that right down to this curvature anyway. So let's just keep going. So I can bring this all in here. Because I think I can get away with that. This tool can be a bit frustrating, not gonna lie. But when it works, it's great. Computer's a little bit laggy, and I don't really know why, but I'll keep drilling through. There we go. So now I've just reduced that, and I don't think that affects the silhouette at all. But then all that detail is then captured on this corner piece, which we are going to see. And then that is okay, and I'm sure that will be absolutely fine. So I've got some shading issues there. So I'm just going to try just one thing. It shouldn't make a difference. But I'm just going to go to set to face. Mesh display, we'll average them first and set to face. So it's then all faceted like so. And then I'm going to soften and harden. It's still there. We'll have a look at that. We'll keep an eye on that, but that we shouldn't be having those issues. But we'll see. We'll see how it bakes. And then I'm just going to come in and hit 0, bring that down, because that's just a flat. Well, that's just because it's the edging. We'll see. Like, I'm not too happy with that, but we'll just see how it bakes, and if it affects the normal map, we might have to come in and just put some geometry back in. So I can get there in the end, and go from there. Now, what we could do is just attach this and make it one solid thing. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put in that multi-cut loop there. W, and snap that down so it's the same height as that. Delete that ring. Delete that ring. Combine these together. And then bridge, one, double click, 2, bridge, and that's all fine. And then I'm going to delete that edge, and that just reduces even more. So now that is 625, which is pretty good. And again, you could probably reduce more, but I'm going to just leave it like that for now, because it shouldn't affect the silhouette at all. And every now and again, what you can do is just turn off the lighting and spin around, and I can't see any faceted edges at all within those sections that we've removed them. So I am okay with that. And then I will take this, right click, and add selected objects. So now we have in here all our UV bits, and you can see I've got that black kind of issues going on at the moment, and that's just because of the camera settings that I changed. So I'm just going to come back in here, and then I'm just going to change this back to 1 so I can just see it a bit clearer. And there we have it. Let me just check. Okay, that's going in like that. Okay. So now we've got all of that done. We've got the main body, and we've got the dials. We've got the that thing, but I'm probably not going to use that. So I can just hide that, and then all we've got left is the strap.